Okay, this is a response to Blows Himself Up Dude's video on DC or Marvel. The question is simple: what do you prefer more, DC or Marvel? And after deliberating a large amount of time, and by that I mean 15 minutes, I am that lazy, folks. I just 15 minutes and give a good thought. Now let me get this out of the way. I like both companies. If you've seen my channel before, I've done reviews of books from both companies, so not much of an argument on that. But what's the question? I already said this before. What do you like more? And I have to say DC. Now I will warn you. Odds are what I'll say won't have any real coherent thought to it whatsoever. But that's what happens when you have me talk. I'm just warning you. I just like it more because as a kid I would watch both animated series from Marvel and DC, and I would enjoy Batman and the Superman animated series more because I enjoy the characters. The one thing I like is the characters in the DC universe are actually, for the most part, with the exception of Batman, most of them are respected by the public. Marvel, I mean, the X-Men are hated. People are accusing Tony Stark of being a dangerous threat because he deals weapons. J.J. Jameson tries to make Spider-Man look like a villain. It's just all horrible. I mean, they treat their characters like crap. Another thing is now this is probably debatable, but I think DC has more well-known stories. Because when I hear DC, I automatically get... When I hear, what are the greatest DC stories? I automatically get Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, Kingdom Come, Batman Long Halloween, even All-Star Superman, which is a newer thing, but people consider that a classic. Yes, Marvel has classics too, but it's sometimes debatable whether or not these stories are classic stories. Well, I think when I ask classic Marvel stories, I always get that's a tough one. One other thing, now I know a lot of people will debate the whole, but they reboot their continuity all the time. Yeah, that's a good thing, because let's face it, Superman and Batman have been around for 70 years. You're gonna need to kind of, update and change things up so it makes sense to the age they're in, because these characters really don't age. It's hard to understand them. Marvel, the one thing I also agree with, and I agree with Eric on this, is DC, they know they're in a superhero universe, because sometimes Marvel just takes themselves too seriously. I know. And also, I just, in other media, I don't know if this is... You know what, I'm not going to cover up other media. I don't know if Eric said that. It's just, they have a lot of other characters aren't well known, but I think are awesome. I love Captain Marvel. I like all the Green Lanterns. I mean, Green Arrow's awesome, but no one knows. I mean, Marvel has a lot of other known characters. And when you talk about crossovers, the one thing I respect that they do this for the most. What they do this in Final Crisis, and they're kind of doing it in Blackest Night, is the ongoing titles aren't wrapped into the event. Final Crisis just had a bunch of miniseries, which you don't have to read. You can read the main miniseries, but you can just read these as kind of like side stories. And that's the same thing with Blackest Night. Blackest Night, they essentially. I do know they're having some ongoings have tie-ins, but with the exception of maybe Action Comics, all these series are titles that aren't selling that well. Booster Gold's not selling that well. Justice League's not selling that well. It's a sad fact. I'm sorry. Booster Gold's not selling that well. I know Adventure Comics is doing it, but it's Jeff Johns, so he's writing it and he's tying it in. But he's still doing, like, the co-feature is still Connor Kent's story. With Marvel, pretty much every book every ongoing title has to tie in. Has to have a tie-in to it. And it gets really annoying, and it gets oversaturated, and sometimes the writer, for example, Ed Brubaker, when he was writing the Civil War tie-ins for Captain America, he didn't even really try, and they're awful issues. But he didn't want to write it. I mean, Events have done a lot of things. Events basically made JMS leave, with the exception of he still has to finish the 12. He still wants to. The reason why that book's not getting finished is because the artist is late. And it's just, and also the events are boring. With DC, like, I read Secret Invasion and was bored out of my skull. I've been reading Blackest Night in issues, and I've had the time of my life with that series. All in all, I just like DC more. I love Marvel, but if you ask me what I like more, DC wins. Hands down. I mean, the first comic I got was a DC comic. The first comic was Dark Knight Returns. Come on. That's all I have to say, because I'm pretty sure I've repeated myself many, many times later.